Hi guys, Rosanna from All Gifts Matter. Welcome to our channel. Right, today I've got for you, basically I've been working on some orders lately because I do custom made ceramics. So every time I do custom made ceramics, I usually make something for myself. Now this time, for the first time, I made myself a little heart wall hanging pocket because I want to put a plant in it, and I think it's absolutely adorable. Now it's the first time I made one like this, and it's a bit of an impulsive tutorial, to be honest, because I thought I'm going to make a tutorial with air dry clay so that everyone can make one of these, and they are absolutely adorable. So obviously this is still wet, so I'm waiting for it to dry, then I can put it in the kiln and then glaze it and then put it back in the kiln. You know, it's a long process, so not everyone has a kiln. So basically, I decided I'm going to do a tutorial with air dry clay. So let's crack on with it. Now, I have a slab roller. So I have pre-rolled a sheet of air dry clay. I use DAS, D-A-S, which I think I have a block of here. That's what I use. I've been told off by my mother-in-law because I don't specify what products I use. So I'm going to pay attention to this today. So this is DAS, and I have a slab roller. So I have rolled it on my slab roller. It's about 3/4 centimeter thick, almost a centimeter thick. And what else do I have to say about that? You can roll it with any rolling pin that you have. If you don't have a slab roller, any rolling pin will work. So what you do, you just put, let's say 2 skewers, you know, something the thickness you want the clay of, you put it on each side, and then you just roll with the 2 sticks to the side, like, let's pretend these are 2 sticks. Yeah, so you put them there, and then your clay will be the thickness of the sticks. It won't go any lower. So you just roll until you're happy with the thickness, if you're doing it with a rolling pin. So that's that, so you know that. If you do use a plastic rolling pin, you might want to use either a spray oil between the clay or in fact, you want to spray it on the roller, and then it won't stick, because plastic tend to stick on clay. I don't know if it's the same with air dry clay, but I think it is, because when I do air dry clay mold, I need cornstarch. So you can either brush your roller with cornstarch or spray oil. Maybe spray oil doesn't work, actually. It works with stoneware clay because it's going to get burnt in the kiln. So yeah, brush the roller with cornstarch if you're using air dry clay. If you're using stoneware clay that is going to go in the kiln at a very high temperature, you can use a spray cooking oil because it will get burnt and nothing will be left over. Okay. Anyway, so we got that out of the way. So that's that. Now, I've got this. I'm going to take it out when I'm ready to cut it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a texture, make it, you know, create a texture on it. Now, for the texture, you can use anything you have. Like this heart was made with this lace. So you just roll the lace over the clay, and then you get an imprint. That's how I made that one, and that's how I possibly will make this one as well. But you can use a lot of things. Like I've got this bracelet which has some elephant on it. So what you do, you just put it on the clay and you roll it to get the imprint, and then you repeat it, you know, if you want more or whatever. Or you can use flowers. You just place them over the clay, the composition that you like, and then again you grab your rolling pin and you roll over. The flowers can be fresh or dry. Obviously, bear in mind that the hard part will, if you press too hard, will go through, and then it will cause cracks at the edges. So, you know, just be mindful of that. So you can use that, or you can use stamps, whichever stamps you have handy. If you want to stamp, you can stamp multiple times, and then you'll have a random texture everywhere. Or you can use a embossing folder if you have any. You can just put it on. Again, be mindful if it's plastic and you're using air dry clay, put some cornstarch. And if it's stoneware, you can use cooking oil, spray oil, and then you put it on. Again, rolling pin. That's that. You can use any fabric that you have, you know, anything that will leave an imprint on your clay is good, depending, of course, on what you like. So now that's that. Then you're going to need some cutters. Now, any cutters would do. Obviously, be mindful that it can be like a very tiny, it could be a very tiny one, but then you only have a tiny pocket, you know? So, you know, if you've got bigger, like I'm going to try to do this flower, this big flower here. And then I also want to try this butterfly and see how I get on with that one. So, you know, it's a little bit smaller. Like the heart that I've made previously is this one. So this clay, stoneware clay shrinks. Once it's fired, these will shrink. So it will be slightly smaller than the original cutter. I don't think air dry clay shrinks. And if it does, maybe not as much as stoneware clay. So yeah, just be mindful of the size you want and, you know, work with that. So today, as I said, I'm going to try this big flower here, and I'm going to make a hole there so that I can hang it from here and it'll look cute. And then I'm going to do one with a butterfly, which I'm going to put 2 holes here and the little pockets. It's probably going to be 2 pockets on this one, 2 tiny pockets, which will be quite cute, I think. Maybe you can't put anything, but it's just pretty anyway. So that's what I'm going to try today. And yeah, let's crack on with this. So I'm going to open my little slab of clay. And first thing first, I am working on a piece of plywood. So it's I think it's a, what is that? I think is a 1/2 centimeter thick plywood, so it won't warp or anything. So that's what I'm working with today. Now, I think I'm going to use my lace because I really like this lace. So I'm just going to do repeated patterns. I'm just going to randomly place it on there and then just roll. That's that. And then repeat it. It's that simple. And your clay will stretch a little bit, obviously. So be mindful of that as well. And last one, I'm going to flip it over. I hope you can see this. I don't know what's going on. Can you see this? Yep. Okay. So the last one I flipped over. And there we go. And we got our shape. We got our pattern. So that's that. Now, Where is my cutter? Where did I put? Ah, there we go. Now we know that we want decide the how you want it. I think right. So I'm going to rotate this a second. So the top of my pocket is that. So you don't want to press all the way. You just want a guideline. So you just slightly do this. And then you have, so you know more or less where you're at. So you've got an outline of your shape. And now you need this part to make the pocket. So what I do, I will cut it off as straight as you can. And then obviously this is going on top of that, right? Because we are creating a pocket. So what I'm going to do to create the pocket, just stretch it lightly, not too aggressively. Okay. And I have a little bit of foam. So if you can use anything really, but I have a little bit of foam handy. So I'm going to cut this piece in half because I just need a small piece. And I'm going to put it here, right? So that when I put these over, there will be a pocket there. Okay? And you want to make sure you are covering the outlines of the cutter. All right? And that's the first step. So you go all the way around and make sure you've got enough clay to cover everything that you need to cover, depending on where you have in your pocket. So that's that. And now we're ready to cut. Okay, so you put it back where it was as best as you can. And now we make the cut. There you go. Make sure you go through and then gently lift it. You might need to keep your finger inside to push out of your cutter. And that's the first stage. Okay, and then you want, if you're using air dry clay, you want to put that back into your container, your bag, so it doesn't dry out and you can still use it for another project. So that's that. And put that away. So, sorry, I just got another slab of clay. Now that's done. Now what you want to do, you can separate it again, like so. Make sure you don't move that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to make cuts at the edges of this piece, just tiny cuts, not cut, just like indents. We call it scoring. So you're just going to score all the way around a little bit. And then you flip it back a second and have a look. Like you are there and there. And you are going to make little score lines all around here as well. We are just creating a bit of a rough surface so that the two pieces of clay can be sandwiched together and not come apart when it dries. So we'll do that. And then just with your finger, you put it in water and just put some little bit of water over. On both sides. Not a lot, just a little bit, right? And then you go back over and try to match everything, keeping the little foam there and trying to match as best as you can. See that? And then you just gently push without trying not to distort the texture that you have. If you have some tools, you can help yourself with tools to keep things rounded and all. But clay is very forgiving. You can always fix things, you know, add and take off and whatever. Main thing is that these two pieces are going to be nice and stuck, because otherwise they will come apart as it dries. So go there in the middle, push gently. And that's that. So what I'm going to do now is lift it and hold it like so, and just go over with your finger around the edges, making sure that everything is, there is no line basically. So you smooth everything nice and well, making sure the seam goes away. So the process is slightly different with the stoneware clay, but not so much. So that's done all the way around. And there we have a flower-shaped little pocket. Now leave that in there so that it dries in shape, and then it won't get distorted. Now what you want to do is cut it, make a hole, punch a hole through, right? Now the best way of doing it is to have something that it's actually has a hole, because like if you use this, you can do, but the clay just expands to make room for the skewer. Whilst if you use this, the clay is actually cut out, and then nothing will expand or distort or anything. So if you have anything with a hole in the middle, like a straw or, you know, anything like that, use that. So I'm going to do that. Let's say here, leave plenty of room all around so that it's not very weak and it won't crack when you hang it or whatever. So, you know, be mindful of that. And once you found more or less the middle, just rotate it. And that's done. And then you end up with this little piece that comes out of there. So that's that done. It's that simple. And now we just wait for it to dry. Okay, so we move it to one side and leave it to dry. Now, this one, we want to do butterfly or cupcake. I don't know. Butterfly or cupcake. Let's make a cupcake, eh? Yeah, I'll make a cupcake. I've got some cupcake cutters. I'm going to pick the biggest one. And that's that. Now, we make a texture. What should we use to make a texture? Let's have a look. Let's use the butterflies. Why not? I like butterflies. So now, put that out of the way. Now we need the cornstarch. There you go. I'm just going to put some cornstarch on the embossing folder everywhere. Sorry, I'm doing it off camera. It's a bit messy, but anyway, here we go. Just enough so that it won't stick. Now shake it off. Put that out of the way. And we're on. So now this is going this way. So does that look all right? Yeah, it does, because it's all over the place. So that's that. I'm going to grab my roller. This one. Lovely. I love butterflies. And two. I mean, you could press it with your fingers, as it's only a small area, to be fair. So we'll try that as well and see. Not bad. There you go. So we've got butterflies. Now, same thing we did before. We make an imprint. Let's pick the best area, you know, an area that you like, where butterflies won't get a hole on, for example. So I think I like this bit. So that, yeah, just a little print. And then, mind you, that won't be at the front because obviously it's inside the cupcake, but you know. And then we pick, tell you what, I'm going to cut it and then I can pick that bit there because I really like that bit. So cut it here. And you can always wet your finger to smooth things out so there is no little bits sticking out. So decide where you want your pocket to get to. So let's say you want it at the bottom of the cupcake. So there. About here, I would say. And I think it should be enough for me to have And then same thing again. I'm going to get scissors to cut this a little bit smaller because it's a smaller piece I'm making. Maybe that's even, I'm going to use this one, tiny piece. So I'm going to put that here, leave it sticking out a bit so that you can remove it when you're done. And we are going to do the same thing. We'll find our shape again from the top. There you have it. And cut. Cut it nice. And keep your finger in to remove it. And there you go. Remove this, put it in your container, unless you are making some other shapes, it's up to you. And now we do the same thing. We open up, we'll get our scribe tool, anything with a pointy end. You can use a skewer or whatever you like. You score along. Don't need to score the top because it's not going stuck to anything. Score here. And you have a look where it gets to. Make a little mark. And you score there. All the way. And then you get the little water all over. Like so. And you're ready to go. All right. You put it nice and flush. Go all the way around on the outside first. Press gently until it gets a little bit stuck. All the way. Then gently pick it up, holding onto the top of the spongy bit, the foam or whatever it is that you're using, and smooth the line in between. You can go different direction, just as long as that line isn't there. You can go top, bottom, and all the way around. And I don't mind if the shape changes a little bit because I do like rustic handmade things. So I think perfect imperfections are awesome. So yes, there's no right or wrong way. There's only your way. And just wet your finger, smooth all the way around. And then you leave that in there. until it's nice and dry. What you could also do, if you can't get rid of the line, or by doing what I've done. I mean, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to, but you never know. So what you could also do is you go around the edge and you score in both directions, and then with your finger and water you smooth it over, and then the two pieces of clay will stick even better. So that's that for now. It's not, as I said, it's not straight, but I love imperfections. It makes everything work being handmade. And we do the hole again. So I want it here. Oops. There you go. Nice hole. I was just thinking, how cute would this be? Like if you serve it maybe with a coffee or a tea or something, and you pour like sugar, little bags of sugar in the... How cute would that be? Yeah, like a cake and a couple of bags of sugar and sweetener or whatever. How cute. Yeah, that's a good idea. You could attach it to a cup or something. That's really pretty. Good ideas. There you go. So now we've got them made. And now we'll wait for them to dry. So I'm going to leave them here to dry. And I will be back once they dried. I'll see you soon. And we're back. It's all dry. I have used the hairdryer to be a little bit faster, but it's all done. There is no cracks anywhere as far as I can see. It's all sealed. The only little bit of a crack is just here, but it's not really going to bother any. It's not going to. It's going to be fine. So that's not a problem at all. Same for this one. All done. As you can see. Now, it occurred to me while I was waiting for it to dry that, when we put it together and we do the scoring and then we put the layer over the top of the pocket, instead of putting water, I was thinking, as it is air dry clay, we could actually use glue, and then it's definitely not coming off, isn't it? So next time I'm going to do this, which is fairly soon, I would say, we could use glue instead of water and then just do the same process, but with glue. And then, honestly, this thing is going nowhere. Now, this is the glue that I use, Evo Stick wood glue. It's very thick. It's really, really, really good. And I mean, it's amazing. I really, really like using this glue. So, I mean, obviously, in the US, you'll have something different. I don't know, but this is in the UK. I buy these in the UK, and yeah, I definitely recommend it. So that's that. Now, what I want to do with this, I'm going to go all over it with finishing wax, just white finishing wax. This is just from our local DIY store, furniture finishing wax. So I'm going to go over with that first, with all over. And then after that, I'm going to go over all the little texture, I'm going to go over with antiquing wax and then wipe it off. And hopefully it will leave a lovely pattern behind, which should work. Then after that, I'm going to put some jute cord for the hanging, and we're all done. So let's see how we got on with that. First thing first, we'll open our white wax. Where it is. I've got my can opener attached to the table. And that's that done. Oopsie daisy. So let's do that first. The reason I put the white wax all over and then the antiquing wax is that I don't want the antiquing wax to stick absolutely everywhere. So with this, hopefully, with this, with this sequence, hopefully I should be able to rub it, wipe it off. And then, I don't know, technically it should work, but we'll see how it goes. So, we'll find out, won't we? And we're back again. The white wax has dried. And now we'll see if my theory works. So if it doesn't, as I said, this was an impulsive tutorial. No plans. I've not done this before. So it's all a surprise for me and you. There you go. So let's see. So I'm going to put the antiquing wax, this is full cart antiquing wax, straight from the pot, no dilution or anything. I would like it to be quite dark. So we'll see how that goes. How sweet are these? So obviously this pattern is a lot busier than the butterfly. Nice nevertheless. So this was the lace. Well, yeah, I'm very, very happy with that. I think you should try. Everyone should try some of these. So yeah, as I said, I'm just going to do some detail work afterward. I'm not going to bore you with it because, yeah, it's my OCD, you see. But for now, we'll put the wax away and Put some jute cord. It's up to you how long you want it, whether you want to thread some beads, if you want it thick, if you want it just a single strand. I don't know. I'm just going to double it, I think. So cut this one. And then cut a piece, then I fold it in half, and then half again. And then I'm going to thread it in here. And then grab that pull and tie a knot. Pretty simple. I'm keeping it simple. And then this is how you're going to be hanging it. Yeah? And I'm just going to cut this off a bit. And that's one. And I'll do the same for this one, the other one. And here we have them. The lovely pockets. How sweet are these? And everyone can make them because you don't need a kiln. I'm really happy with it, guys. So I'm going to love you and leave you. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you're going to have a go. You can make any shape you want, any color you want. I would love to see some of your work, but it would be good enough if you would leave a comment. And of course, thank you very much for watching as usual. And I shall see you in the next video. Bye for now.